Lesson 213. I am not a body, I am free. For I am still as God created me. Just as the song goes. Goes back to lesson 193. All things are lessons God would have me learn. This is an interesting phrasing because what does it mean? All things are lessons God would have me learn. We thought that we get certain lessons, right? We have our lessons. We have our curriculum. We have our lessons. We certainly have our lessons here, right, in the workbook. We're learning a lesson a day. If you're doing the course, you generally do a lesson a day for a year, and then you've gone through all the lessons. So what does this mean? All things are lessons God would have me learn. What? That's like a monkey wrench thrown into this all of a sudden. So clearly, lesson here means something different. It doesn't mean what we think it means. So let's see what Jesus says. He says, a lesson is a miracle which God offers to me in place of thoughts I made that hurt me. What I learn of him becomes the way I am set free. And so I choose to learn his lessons and forget my own. What I learn of him becomes the way I am set free. And so I choose to learn his lessons and forget my own. Now, this is to say that most of us here, what we do is we follow the ego's thought system, and we don't follow the thought system that leads to God. We don't follow what the Course calls the Holy Spirit's curriculum or the Holy Spirit's thought system, and the Course is a manifestation of that thought system, right? The Course is coming out of that thought system, and it's a way to bring us back to that awareness, which is basically, loving presence. To be established in that loving presence, no matter where we are, what we're doing, in any situation, in any circumstance in life that we may find ourselves. So all things are lessons God would have me learn. And then Jesus says here, lesson is a miracle. What is a miracle? Well, miracle is defined in different ways in the Course. I mean, the miracle is kind of hard to pin down exactly what a miracle is. But in this case, what it means is a miracle is a correction, right? A miracle is a correction to the thought system of the ego, right? The ego's thought system is wrong-minded. The Holy Spirit's thought system is right-minded. Wrong-minded thinking is thinking that leads you away from God, right? Thinking that leads you away from being in that loving presence. Whatever leads you away from that is of the ego. Whatever leads you into a state of peace, of joy, of love, of harmony, of getting along with your brother and seeing your brother as yourself, that is the way of spirit. That's the Holy Spirit's thought system. So a lesson, all things are teaching us, if we let them, right? All things actually can help to bring us back. In all things, God is in all things. I think part of what's not being said here is that God is in all things, and so all things are able to bring us back. And all things contain that one lesson. There's really only one lesson, right? The lesson is to forgive, right? But what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is letting go of the illusion of separation, right? Letting go of anything that's in the way, all interference in the way of realizing what that means, right? That we are still at home in God. We are still one with God. This is the atonement principle of the Course, that we have never stopped being what we are. We are still what we have always been, and despite all the appearances to the contrary. And there are many appearances to the contrary, and one of the biggest one is thinking that we are a body, thinking that the body, our body or other people's bodies somehow make a difference. And Jesus keeps telling us that it doesn't really make a difference. The body is not essential to us, right? We have a reality beyond our body. We have a reality beyond the ego personality, which we have taken ourselves to be. But in that ego personality, there is a self which stands forever, right? That is our true self, right? Well, we have to remove the egoic thoughts and the egoic conditionings that speak of a being which is not that, right? Which is speak of a self which can be hurt or harmed or is limited or lacking or can suffer, can feel guilt, can feel shame, can feel all these other things. We have to let all of those things go in favor of that self, which is as God created us, which really is of love. And love cannot be attacked, and love cannot be threatened in any way. Love is the only thing in the universe that really stands, right? Everything else will go. Everything else will fall. Everything else, anything else, is temporary, but that loving presence is forever. Now, is there still a personality? I mean, I think the big question is, for many people, is there still a personality? Does this mean that me, as the person I take myself to be right now, will be no more? Or is somehow the person that I am right now, will that go with me when I leave this world? Now, I don't think anyone has a satisfying or convincing answer to this question. And it could be that as long as you want to retain that personal element of yourself, it will remain. But as soon as you are ready to let it go in favor of something greater, you will find that something greater. As long as there's still fear and you're still holding on to a personal identity, then you may still retain that, right? But when you are ready, even if it's just for a moment, to let go of the personal identity, you can have an experience that transcends the personal identity. And there is a whole branch of psychology called transpersonal psychology that gets into that, right? So all things are lessons God would have me learn. In other words, God is teaching us always, right? Not that God really does anything, right? Okay. But you could say the Spirit, God's Spirit, which of course also calls the Holy Spirit, is everywhere and in everything. And that Spirit is ever calling us and ever reminding us of what we really are, if we would only listen. But we the thing is that we're not generally listening. We don't want to know. Why don't we want to know? Because we're so caught up in the game of being somebody. Who wants to be a nobody, right? I've said this before in a previous video. Who wants to be a nobody? Everybody wants to be a somebody. Won't somebody tell everybody that nobody is anybody? No one's doing that except the Course, and other things like that. But if you want to be, if you're somebody and you aspire to be a nobody, then the Course is probably for you. I am not a body. I am free. I'm still as God created me. Right? God is not a body. God does not have a body. God is nobody, and I am nobody. Right? In a good way, though, not a bad way. This is all crazy. I know, crazy talk. Still as God created me. All things are lessons God would have me learn. All things are lessons God would have me learn. Body, I am free. I'm still as God created me. Okay, lesson 214 is next. Thank you for tuning in. We'd love to hear your comments or thoughts, anything you want to share. As always, I'm going to do a couple more videos today. I'm actually going to do a very cool rabbinic story that you might not have heard ever before. So stay tuned for that, and I might do another one on the Beatles today as well. All right, see ya. Thanks.